Welcome back to the Gore Guide, where we're on a journey to compile the definitive list of gore and splatter films. Today we're going to be taking a look at 2001 Maniacs. You are what they eat. I guess in my case that means that they have a very unhealthy diet. "2001 Maniacs" is a 2005 film directed by Tim Sullivan, written by Tim Sullivan and Chris Cobin, starring Robert Englund, Lynn Shay, and a young Val Kilmer. Not really, it's Jay Gillespie. This is a remake of the 1964 Herschell Gordon Lewis film 2000 Maniacs, and it stays pretty true to its roots. It just brings the exploitational components into the modern day. Well, it's not the modern day now, it was made in 2005, but you know what I mean. The sleaze and gore have been modernized. But how does it stand up to the original cult classic by the godfather of gore? Well, let's take a look and find out. Three college friends on their way to Daytona Beach for spring break take a detour and end up in a seemingly idyllic but very old-fashioned small town in Georgia called Pleasant Valley. They are soon joined by another group of friends and a couple on a motorbike that all took the same detour and are all invited to stay and attend the annual Guts and Glory Jubilee. What starts out as a good old-fashioned shindig, with music, dancing, booze and buxom babes, soon turns bad when they start getting killed one by one. Turns out they weren't just invited to the special meal, they are the special meal. 2001 Maniacs is actually pretty decent in a juvenile way. The pacing is really good, and beyond some basic character introductions at the beginning, it doesn't take them long to get to Pleasant Valley and start getting killed. It definitely isn't boring. Of course, Robert Englund is great, as always, and he pretty much carries the film acting-wise. Everyone else does an acceptable job, but is mostly forgettable. Even Lynn Shay, who I normally like. The vast majority of the rest of the cast is composed of attractive females, and there's a fair amount of nudity. Nothing too graphic, but a lot of boobs. So I'm a bit of a geek in some ways, and I'm sure my partner finds it very annoying when I'm like, oh, there's what's-his-face from that film you've never seen. She values her time and she doesn't watch as much crap as I do, but I really like that I got to play my little game of Spot the Celebrity, and there's quite a lot of little cameos in 2001 Maniacs. Eli Roth, who also produced, shows up, reviving the character he played in his film Cabin Fever 3 years earlier. And in a blink and you'll miss him part, Kane Hodder, playing a character called Jason. Totally unnecessary, but it's always good seeing him. But there's a couple of less instantly recognizable faces in the film as well. Travis Tritt, who is a well-known country music artist, plays the gas station attendant. And Scott Spiegel, who co-wrote Evil Dead 2 and wrote and directed Intruder, plays one of the travelling buskers, and by the look of the end credits brought most of his family with him to be extras. Obviously, as it's a remake of one of the more famous films from the godfather of gore, the kills in 2001 Maniacs have a lot to live up to. Luckily, they do. They managed to keep the campy feel of the original while updating them for a more modern audience's tastes by making them more graphic. And there are enough of them to keep the film going at a good pace. And I actually like the ending. There are parts of it that are going to be coming up in the bad section very soon, but in general, I actually liked it. There's a neat little twist and a nice little surprise. Early to mid-2000 films have probably aged worse than ones from most other eras. And while this isn't one of the worst offenders, there's elements to it that just suck. I was never a fan of the whole American teen sex comedy thing where all the males are jocks or nerds and all the females are sluts or nerds. And the characters in 2001 Maniacs are straight out of the American Pie handbook on how to be an American teen.
Dude, I'd eat the peanuts out of her shit.
She's not your type, dog. Trust me.
Dude, if she has a pulse, she's my type.
Considering what this film is, it should be a lot funnier. Some of the kills are comical and there are some amusing moments, but it's nowhere near as funny as it thinks it is.
I'll keep my jug handy.
Too much faith is put into the notion that everyone finds country folk with strong accents and weird voices hilarious.
Looks like Miss Peach is done. Snagged herself a Yankee boy already.
I got my eye on that purty one with them long legs leading up to them tender boot tops.
And I can't be the only person that finds it not only unfunny but also annoying. Having Confederate-loving Southern Americans provides too many excuses to make disparaging remarks about race or sexual preferences.
And Negro and Chinaman to boot.
That's China woman.
And there are a few moments, but luckily they don't take it too far in this film. The filmmaking in 2001 Maniacs is very basic. It's not great, but it's not terrible. But when we get to the final showdown, the editing gets very annoying. The close-ups of people laughing and dancing around a guy tied to a table are grating enough, but when you add in lots of quick cuts, it just gets too much. I guess they were trying to achieve a more action-packed feeling, but because not a lot is actually happening, it just feels really forced and out of place with the rest of the film. Now, I know I brought up the ending in the good section, but like I said, there's a few elements that need to be brought up here as well. Like the final showdown ends far too quickly. I know Robert Englund is not a young man, so he can't be expected to take part in this big choreographed fight scene, but it needed something. It needed more. And then at the very end, after the neat little twist, there's a nice little surprise. But while it is a nice little surprise, it makes no fucking sense at all. Now I know what you're saying. Considering the story and everything that's happened up to this point, does it really matter that it doesn't make any sense? Well, yes, kinda does. Especially when it's the last shot of the film and the thing that you're probably going to remember the most.
Got the skewering rod raring to go. Well, are we ready? Are we ready? 1, 2, 3, rabbit meat!
My favourite kill in 2001 Maniacs is when the milkmaid, played by Krista Campbell, makes a guy drink acid and then blood starts spurting out of his throat. And his torso just starts melting. " 2001 Maniacs has plenty of great kills, and while they don't linger on the gore for very long at all, it is memorable and well done. So it gets 3 out of 5 for amount of blood, and 3 out of 5 for quality of effects. The film is juvenile and ridiculous and surprisingly enjoyable. I've seen it 3 or 4 times previously, and I know I'll watch it again at some point. So 2001 Maniacs gets 3 out of 5 stars. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on 2001 Maniacs, or if you have any requests for future videos. Join me next time when we'll be taking a look at Evil Ed. There is a link to the trailer in the description below, along with a link to my list of films on Letterboxd. Don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe, and click on the bell to keep up to date with new content. Thanks for watching, and until next video, have a bloody good time.